everyone. Thanks for coming to LeadershipU. I'll let students, y'all introduce yourselves first.
Yes, okay. All right.
And maybe what you are for Halloween if you dressed up.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start. Thanks guys for coming out. My name's Hazel. I'm a communications major. I'm a student engagement coordinator. And I dress up, as you can see, a cat. I'm missing my tail, but I'm a cat.
Hello, this is Miriam. I'm Strategic Direction Coordinator in LeadershipU. I'm a student. I'm a junior.
I'm the advisor. I'm Emmy. I work with all the RSOs and student organizations, and if you play video games and are familiar, I'm dressed up as Princess Zelda from the new Legend of Zelda game. I have a Sheikah slate, but it doesn't clip onto my hip, so yeah.
I'm Samuel. I'm the co-student engagement coordinator. And I'm dressed as Jim from The Office.
Minus one of your holes from the 3-hole punch.
Yeah, I lost one of my O's, so. Yep.
Yeah, so we thought we would dress up for a little bit of Halloween fun. So kind of how this works for folks who've never been here before is we usually start off with some sort of icebreaker, get to know you activity type thing. LeadershipU is a program to help kind of students in any area develop leadership skills. So we believe in having it be more hands-on and a little more fun, just because like y'all sit through class all day, so you don't need to sit through more class. So we're going to start off with kind of a fun little icebreaker activity, and then Miriam's actually going to take us through some stuff on follow-through and kind of why it's important as student leaders, and some tips to kind of help you as far as like improving on your own ability to follow through. So everyone's going to need to get a piece of paper and a pen. So I'll try to split these between the two tables, and Kieran, you should come up front here instead of being a loner back there. So pens. I don't know if I split these evenly between the tables, but we'll see. Your name, for one, and then the other thing you're going to write down is 2 questions that you would want somebody to ask you as like get to know you questions. So like you'll want to be a little more in depth than like what's your favorite color. Like maybe it's like you want them to ask you about a trip you just took somewhere that was really exciting, or like maybe what you're studying and why, or like those types of things is like things you actually want people to know and like talk to you about. Once you've written down those questions, you're going to make this into a paper airplane. So I'll start by giving you those instructions. You can make your paper airplane whatever shape, style you want, but your name, 2 questions you want people to ask you, and then make a paper airplane. So I'll give you a couple minutes to start with that, and then I'll explain what we're going to do next. ways you can do it. So kind of the general is if you, like, you'll make it the roughly the size you want. So like you can hold it down one way or this way, but then you want to fold down to your front point.
Yeah.
So I haven't finished my questions yet, but
Sorry.
no, you're good. So you can fold in half, and then you can fold down. And then this is usually when I unfold it, and I'll flip that corner the other way, so that way they're on the outside. And then if you hold this up, fold down, like take this and fold it down so it gets wings. That's one way to do it. You can do it, like if you have other ways of folding a paper airplane, this is not the way you have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that mine will fly very far, but it like gets the job done. But yeah, and then this is a basic paper airplane. That's also totally fine. There's I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong way to fold a paper airplane. This is just the really quick if you're not familiar with how to fold them. So, or if you haven't made one in a long time. So.
What did you write as questions?
I want them to ask me
Mode. Folks are starting to get their questions and their airplane wrapped up.
How is the plane now? I know. You know, I used to know it.
I've made that into a baby plane now. See, this is not about the distance that you're going to be flying your airplane at all. This is mostly so we can get everything mixed up. So
I don't know if maybe I should make it this way, but I can do this.
Yeah, I think she does.
Do you need help? Yeah.
so anyone want to help folding paper airplanes, or are we?
I can.
I'm here to volunteer.
Once we've got our airplanes folded, then you'll see why we're sending them flying. It's my little baby one.
Actually, wanted your questions to be inside, but
It doesn't matter on which side they're on. Really, so for context, we're going to be throwing these around the room as a way of mixing up the questions and who asked what. So it doesn't matter if the questions are on the inside or outside, as long as it can kind of move. People have also done this where they just crumple up the papers and make it into a snowball fight. So, but in the interest of nobody getting poked in the eye, hopefully, with a paper ball, we're gonna play paper airplanes. So. And I think you should add to your resume paper airplane holding.
credit goes to my brother. I think we did that all our childhood. There you go. Who else needs help?
I need help.
All right. well, been almost wrapping up our last airplane, I'll kind of explain what we're going to do next. So once everyone's got their airplanes made, we're all going to come up here, and essentially what we're going to do is use this next minute to throw as many paper airplanes as you can wherever. It doesn't matter if it's your paper airplane. The goal is to get them all super mixed up, because afterwards, like at the end of 1 minute, everyone's going to grab the paper airplane closest to them, and then your goal is to find the person whose paper airplane it is, and then you're going to ask them their questions. You'll answer those questions for yourself as well, and then they'll ask you, or it'll flip. So you'll answer 4 questions in all, the 2 on your sheet and 2 on the other, and then you'll get to rotate, like between others. We'll mix them up again. You'll get to talk to a few different people that way. So, what questions do we have on that? All right, let's have everyone stand up and come up here. You'll have a minute to throw as many paper airplanes as you can. So as soon as you throw one, find another one that hit the ground. Just keep throwing them around. Try not to hit anyone in the eye. And then we will, after a minute, I will call time. Don't hit the camera, otherwise. Oh, you can hit the camera. Throw them at the camera. And then we will work on answering questions. So, are we ready? And go.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wait. All right, 30 seconds left. Keep throwing.
Hazel, we just pass that one back and forth.
All right, 15 seconds.
No one was Emmy's. As I hit her in the face with it.
That actually. Who does that?
5,
You're
4,
confusing.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're
Time. All right, so grab an airplane. Try to grab yours.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to find who the person is. So, for example, I have Hazel. So first I'm going to go find Hazel. We'll chat, and then Hazel will find somebody else and chat based on questions. Ready? Yeah. All right. What do you want to do with your community work?
I think I want to work in like education.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sure. What are your hobbies?
What is your favorite city?
My favorite city is like either Minneapolis or Washington, D.C. There's so much to do. It's alive.
Yeah. Very cool. I'll go with what my community
Got it.
my major
And what
was.
brought you
I love working with students, so and not necessarily like a teaching setting, but I like kind of having like hands-on like mentorship development, that type of stuff. So yeah. My favorite city, that's hard. I do like Minneapolis quite a bit. I also used to live in Tacoma, Washington. That was probably also one of my favorite cities, like Tacoma or Seattle. I like the Pacific Northwest quite a bit. So yeah. So who is your?
I don't think so.
None. Fine. All right. Yes.
Do you like it better here? Yeah.
All right. I think I would choose to live in the Pacific Northwest. So I'd probably choose either Seattle or Tacoma. That I lived in for a few years, and I really liked it. It wasn't too big, but it also wasn't too small. So it was close to everything I wanted. And it was also really close to being outside a lot, so I like hiking.
What is your best
Best trip experience. We went to Mankato and we drove there. It was like very special name, and we had to get everything done in that weekend, but we really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a road trip. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We also fought because nobody was decided on where to go.
What is your best trip experience?
You already asked me that.
Next question, please.
What is my major? My major is management management information system and finance.
Favorite Netflix?
Alright, what is your major? What is your year in school?
Seen them?
Okay, we're done. Okay, now I'll have to find someone who has it.
So I think I have that.
And what kind of community would you like to How old are you?
So we always
So, what is your major?
What, so for food, like, is there any type of like dish that you would recommend?
Have you made it yet?
my favorite food.
Yeah, I've done 4.
Yes.
I would say Asian. Yeah, I would say Asian.
And then, what do you want to do?
So yeah, complete the classes.
Yeah, so I would do it like a band or
And then my favorite Netflix series.
and you're
This is my second year on the road.
Do you have a favorite place to travel?
Or prison.
Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
Has everyone found their person yet? Has anyone not found their person? Nobody has not found their person yet? Do we want to do one more round of folding, throwing, and finding people to see who we have not gotten to meet yet? Let's take a minute, we'll fold or refold, or actually this round, instead of paper airplanes, let's go with the snowball approach. So one minute, don't throw them hard at each other, like, but yeah, we'll have a little snowball fight in the end of October, and then in a minute we'll grab our respective snowballs and find who we're looking for. And Siri doesn't have to be.
Say go.
Hang on, Siri was trying to talk to me. And go.
Oh, Timmy!
Oh, that was hard.
Okay, I can't find any now.
What? You got me that.
Okay. Oh, you're just standing.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. I almost got that one. Oh, totally missed. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Oh, grab a snowball. Paper, snowball. Okay. Oh, hey, Mankato.
Okay.
Tell me about your major.
I am business management, IT, and finance.
Cool. And what do you want to do for the rest of your life?
I want to end up finding a job where I can travel. So as a part of my job, I work in see other countries and other places. So hopefully if I can end up with that kind of job.
Is there a specific place that you really want to travel to?
I want to travel to Europe. I want to travel to So
Nice.
as many people as I could. And luckily I found you. Which is amazing. Okay. If you could live in one place anywhere in the world, where would you choose to live?
Yeah, so I was Seattle, Mankato. It had about 200,000 people, so it was like the perfect size. It was really close to Seattle, so you could go do whatever you wanted to, but it wasn't like too.
My major is
and it was like the location was the perfect mix of
my
like
own gym.
urban and like nature. Because it was 45 minutes away from multiple national parks and the mountains, and 10-minute walk from where I live to the ocean. So like that was super nice. And the weather is pretty mild, so I love that.
I think New York.
That's a good point. If you could be any animal you want, what animal would you be? And I think I can just guess it.
You could probably guess it.
Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. You have 3 guesses, right? Or 2?
Two. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
Are we throwing at other people now?
We'll let everyone come together first.
All right.
And then we'll head into our big activities.
So what brought you to MSU?
I mean, that has to go to the doctor.
It might have a destination.
I don't think that would
Then I guess let's talk about that. What are some hobbies that you have?
So I do something called Forex. It's kind of, you have it? Yeah, so it's kind of something like the stock market kind of, but it's currencies, foreign currencies. And basically I do that to make money. So do that. I like to lift for basketball here and there. And obviously, I heard about it. Yeah. Cool. Pretty cool. How about you?
Well, I came to MSU because it was the best alternative to get out of the town that I was in. I'm originally from the Twin Cities, but we moved to Winona, and I kind of wanted to save money and try to go someplace rural so that I could keep some money. That has not worked as well as I know. It's expensive.
Why you?
This would also be a really good like stress relieving activity. You can write down everything you're stressing about and just like throw it. Your final paper. Yeah.
I've only been there. I've only been there like once.
There's a resiliency
It
one
looked
thing
like
at the
really
end of the
small.
semester.
It wasn't too much to
Yeah.
do.
God, it's terrible. Yeah, like if you don't drink, it's just something else.
It's nothing to do.
Exactly.
That's funny. How about you?
Sounds like we're pretty much wrapped up here. So thanks everyone for enjoying some creative ice breaking and getting. Hopefully you got to chat and like get to know some folks that you didn't know before and learn something new. I learned about new meals to try and that Mental Health wants to go to Europe at some point. So you know, lots of good things. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Miriam. She's got some stuff that we're going to talk through with follow through, which is kind of like this week's theme. So yeah, I'll let you take it away from there.
Okay. And we can all sit back down too, right, if we want.
Yeah, keep to the front couple of tables just so we're like all close.
Are we the only people with that? Or the cool ones? Those are the 3 of us.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, today we're going to talk about follow-through. What do you think the word follow-through is? Just say random words or shout out with words, and I'm going to write it on the board.
Staying connected.
Staying connected. Okay, how about others? What do you think follow-through is? What comes to your mind whenever you think about follow-through?
And keeping the process going.
Reminder.
I think success. You associate with
Success. Any other?
Aftermath.
Tell me more about that.
So follow through is just how one reacts after a scenario or a situation occurs, after an action occurs. So it could be something as simple as if you take a step, you have to take another step, or if I've completed a project, I need to be able to continue on with that project and react to whatever occurs afterwards.
That's really nice, yes. So, follow-through is an act of continuing a plan, project, scheme, or the like to its completion, just like what he said, and whatever you said is right. So, we start a thing and then we keep going, we keep doing it till its completion. That's what we call completion. So, to follow through or to keep up going with our projects, the next slide. We have to take some steps, right? So what do you think are the steps needed for us to continue with our project, or to follow through, or to keep up doing whatever we want? What are some ideas with you guys?
Make a schedule.
Make a schedule, okay. How about others?
Maintain motivation.
Maintain motivation? Okay. Any other idea? Okay. Next one? Yeah. So there are a couple of points over here. So the first one is be honest about what you want. First of all, we gotta clarify what we want. We gotta know what we want in order to follow through or keep up doing whatever we started doing. Our second thing is understand the sacrifice. There is a sacrifice for everything. We cannot have 3 or 4 priorities at the first our first priority. We should have first priority, second priority, third priority, and so on. So we should identify those things, and we should be able to give up whatever is not the first priority in order to be able to finish what we started as a first priority. So our third step is prepare for success. Have a success mindset. Like talk to yourself. It might be weird to say it, but talk to yourself. It is not weird. Just wake up in the morning, say it again. Whatever we started, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be productive. Whatever it is. So what you're doing is you're gonna program your mind so that you can prepare your mind to success. So the fourth point is give yourself deadlines. Deadlines are very important. That's why we have an exam, for example. That's what we relieve. So if we did not have an exam, we wouldn't finish studying our books, right? So that's why we have an exam, so that we can finish our project on time. So deadlines are very important for us. And the fifth point is incentivize yourself. We need some motivation. We need something. We need to give ourselves something so that we can be able to do it. For example, if I do something, if I finish this thing, I'll give myself this. I'll go to this place. I'll go to, just give yourself incentives. So this is very important. So the next point is you guys are gonna, I'm gonna ask you to discuss about what your experience with follow through is, and what good or bad, just discuss about it, and we're gonna share those experiences with the group. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, and please discuss with yourself.
For a week now, and then there's so many exams and homeworks, and I'm like, oh my god, I have so much to do and I have so much less time. So it's like, it's just so hard to go through everything. Even though if you put that in your schedule, it's just kind of like, it doesn't work to me sometimes. When you finish something, you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. I finished that, and I feel like I followed through and it turned out good. Calco works. What? Calco. Oh my gosh, don't. I'm a cotton major. It's just. For sure. Yeah, especially like after finals week, I think everybody feels that. Yeah. The later session. Even like outside of
Quickly, pretend like we're talking about something.
Sure.
You're not in your class right now.
Yeah.
You guys feel all that?
How'd you learn over here?
I think I try to. It's just kind of hard sometimes to do it.
Have you ever had
Even if you plan it, you just can't.
Like, have you ever worked
A lot of times I would plan it, but I wouldn't do it. So after that, I would be guilty. Like,
Well, what happened?
spend time making a plan.
This semester I'll be going to the gym, working out and stuff like that. But whenever I just like pick a day to start until now,
Okay.
said like picking the time can be like
Yeah, so like the kind of originally you had a deadline, then the accountability part of it kind of like fell away as far as Have any of you ever like worked with somebody who said they were going to do something and then didn't? What was that like?
Annoying.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just like me, I was always thought, like myself, I think like if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you do it, you know what I'm saying? So like for you, the fact that if you're not gonna do it, you just don't either, you know, put yourself out there to get in that position to have to do whatever you said you were gonna do, or, you know what I'm saying, do what you said.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of makes it hard to like trust other people if they don't do it. Yeah. Yeah. It can also, I know for myself, I've run into times where somebody has said that they would do something and they didn't do it, and it impacted the ability for us to do other things because either like something wasn't done and now we're not eligible, or like, or even just like now it's like, well, I don't have the time to like go back and make up for it too. So and that can be something that's like, it's challenging, is working in a group. So out of curiosity, like if you were to encounter, like say you agree to do something and then something comes up and you can't do it, or like you can't follow through on it, any ideas about what you might look at doing?
Well, I mean, you've got to admit as soon as possible that, hey, I can't do this, and you need to inform the student, depending on you,
Just make a time to do it.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. It's almost about, it's a balance between like adjusting priorities to make sure it gets done, and like when you know that like if something comes up and there's just no way it's gonna get done, like being honest about it right away instead of, because that can lessen the impact as opposed to, and it's good integrity to be able to do that. So, yeah. Cool.
On my phone 24/7. Try to read it. Then if it works.
I mean, most of the time it happens in like group studies, and then when you have like group projects with somebody
We do one more meeting to wrap up.
Thanks for letting me crash your table. This is how I don't stand in the way of the presentation.
Alright guys, let's have a discussion. What did you guys talk about? Share some stuff from, I'll start from this table.
We talked about that how like follow through is like we kind of like everybody talked about how we make plans and then we're not, sometimes it's just hard to follow through it, especially like at this time of the semester when everything is kind of like so on your face and you can't really follow through. And then we kind of talked about how working in a group is sometimes hard for everybody to follow through. Somebody have to like take the lead and explain to everyone that how important it is. So follow through could be a good point to get everybody on the way to the completion of the project or
The person leading the project to follow through. Others?
We talked about a lot of positive and negative, like individual experiences with it. Sometimes I think we associate more with the negative ones, like, oh yeah, I didn't finish this project at time, or a lot with homework, you know, the exam, like I pushed off studying, procrastinated. So it's just interesting to see like how we approach it, and how we never really think about it, I don't think.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. How about from the table?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about not being able to completely follow through on things and what we should do if we're unable to follow through on things. And we also kind of touched very briefly on what it's like to be or to work with somebody who doesn't follow through and what the effects of that would be upon either a group work or one's own personal work.
Okay. What do you think should you do?
Well, if you're not able to follow through with something, as soon as you know that you're unable to complete whatever you have been assigned or whatever you have volunteered to do, you should admit it, and you should try to spread your workload out amongst the group and try to mitigate the amount of damage that not being able to do things would do.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good. So this will take us to our next activity. We're gonna have an activity. So we're gonna stand up. All of us are gonna stand up.
Hang on. We'll just leave it there for now.
Yeah. For our activity, we all have to stand up first. And so the name of the activity is called People to People. So we're gonna pair up with a person who we don't know first and introduce ourselves with that person. And then I'm gonna give instructions. I'm gonna say, for example, back to back, and then you're gonna stand back to back with that person. And when I say elbow to elbow, you're gonna touch your elbow with that person. So whatever I say, you're gonna do it. Like if I say finger to nose, you'll get 1% finger. 1% finger will be on the other person's nose. So that's what. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Amy is 12. Did you count 10?
Can you participate?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right.
So 11. I want odd numbers.
Odd numbers?
Yeah, odd number.
Okay.
Otherwise it doesn't work. So, people to people.
People to people?
Like, so you're gonna pair up. When I say people to people, you're gonna pair up with a new person and introduce yourself with that person.
Hi, my name is Mankato.
So this is it. You switch?
I think so. Hang on. Do you, so there should be one person out?
So there should be one person out. One person who is not doing anything is gonna give an instruction and he's gonna say back to back or whatever it is, like elbow to elbow or something.
So,
I got through a bunch of them.
because the person,
so there's no
do you
one
want that to
host.
be,
There's one host.
Oh,
Like
So-
the extra person is gonna be a host.
Every time that extra person is going to be a host, or if that extra person who is host is changing?
Yeah, when that person says people to people, again you're gonna spread and you're gonna find new people and then you're gonna say that.
Okay. So one person is not host all the time.
Yeah.
It's changing.
Yeah, it's changing.
are you also in or no?
No, I'm gonna do it once and then you guys.
Okay, so,
She's going to initiate it. And
I'm
then
gonna
so you'll be the initial host, so then in order for everyone else to pair off.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so then I'll step back with this one. Yes. Trying to count off to like make sure we're even, yeah.
Okay. Elbow to elbow.
We have to spread out.
Oh, maybe you're in, right? You're in this time. You said you were going to just initiate it.
No, I'm gonna say it.
I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah, let's do back. Back to back. Toe to toe.
Wait, what?
Finger to nose.
Well,
Finger to what?
Nose.
yeah.
Shoulder to shoulders.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Knee to knee. West to west. People to people.
Hi, my name is Mankato.
We have to change.
My name is Mankato.
Oh, I gotta come here.
Back to back.
Okay.
Elbow to elbow. Head to head.
Head to head. Oh my god.
Toe to toe.
West to west.
Waist or rest?
West.
Waist.
Hand to hand. People to people.
People to people.
Hi, Sammy. You're not going to step up on me. Hi, Sammy. My name is Mankato.
Nice to meet you. My name is Jim.
So where did your other thing go?
Finger to finger.
Finger to finger, Sammy.
Finger to toe.
Finger to toe.
There you go.
The other person toe.
Head to head.
Head to head, semi.
Back to back. Okay, that's enough. We can see that.
All right.
So, the main purpose of this activity was to show you how hard it is to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable, with uncomfortable situations. Well, for example, if we meet a new person and touching that person is kind of uncomfortable, right? So that's kind of hard. So to follow through, for example, we might encounter some stuff that are very uncomfortable. We gotta step out of our comfort zone in order to complete those steps. Working in group, for example, we might not agree with that person. So we gotta step out of our comfort zone, try to find solution in order to work with that person. So yeah, that is one point, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. The other point is public commitment with a painful deadline. This is an interesting thing. For example, if I have to clean up my room, and if I want to clean up my room, I can promise to myself, and I can give deadline by tomorrow 7 p.m. I will clean up this deadline. But the only person I give a promise to is myself, right? So that does not help me that much. So, for example, if I call to my friend and say, I'm gonna invite you for dinner tomorrow at 7 p.m. So I know that my friend is coming tomorrow at 7 p.m. So there is some initiation for me to clean my house. So that's why I push myself forward so that I won't get embarrassed in front of my friend. I'll clean my house. So giving a painful deadline is very important. The thermometer is, there is some kind of paper, you can develop some kind of paper, for example, for salespeople. If they want to get revenue by, like for example, for $100,000 of revenue by the end of 6 months, after 6 months, yes, thank you.
I'll give you a visual.
Yeah. You can start from $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000, and $100. So whenever we reach $20,000, we can color it with range, so that we can see visually where we are, where our progress is. It works with our project and with our other lives too. We can color it whenever we reach 40. You can color it with a different number, color, or with the same color as Amy is doing. Or so you can keep doing that till you reach 100. That gives you initiation in order to follow through your project. So that is very important. The other is keep it on the top of your mind. Post-it notes. Post-it notes are very important. Post it in your bathroom, in your bedroom, everywhere, so that you can see it. You can visually see it, what you want to do or what you have to do by this deadline or by this date. And the last one is rectitude. Make sure that is right. Rectitude is whether it's right or not. Make sure whatever you're doing is right or not before you do it. So these are some points for today. Follow through. If you have any question, you can ask. Us. So I'm going to wrap up today's workshop with this.
Any questions at all? Or?
Yeah, if you have any question, I can. Thank you.
All right. Cool. So just kind of a couple wrap-up things. I put some surveys out on the table. So we do these as kind of like a way to track kind of how effective we are with our workshops. It gives us opportunities for improvement. So if you are able to take a moment and fill one of those out, please don't put your name on them. We just it helps us with tracking how we do. A couple other things, we do have some social media pages. So if you follow LeadershipU MSU, not MNSU, MSU, on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, you can see lovely videos from our LeadershipU board, as primarily Mankato. She's our social media coordinator, by the way. She had to come late today. And then also we'll post about like workshop opportunities, stuff like that. We also do an annual student leadership retreat, which is probably my favorite part of my entire job, to be honest. We take a group of 40 students out to Camp Omega, which is out kind of Waterville-ish area, so about 40 minutes away. And we spend a weekend tubing and making s'mores and playing broom ball and doing kind of a deep dive into what leadership means today and how we can be more effective as leaders. So it's a blast. The application for that is now live because we only have so many spots. We do it as an application, and I highly encourage you to apply. It's $20 all inclusive, and if there's any cost concerns, we do have need-based scholarships too. So definitely check that out. Otherwise, please feel free to grab some snacks on your way out. If you didn't scan in at the beginning, let's get you scanned in now. We also like to just kind of track and see where we're at for attendance. And yeah, I think, am I bored? Am I forgetting anything? They usually do the announcements, so.
I think that should be it.
Cool.
If you come to our next, if this is your first workshop and you come to our next workshop, you can get a coffee mug. Oh yeah.
Yeah. A super dope coffee mug.
Do we have any return?
I haven't had a chance to look yet.
And if you bring a friend with you in your next, in our next workshop, you
wait
also
on
get one of those.
Beautiful mug. Yeah. So, cool.
Yep.
Anyways, thank y'all.
Feel free to go to more meetings. There's snacks if you want.
Oh.